Alright my friends, so it's time for us to set up our store because this is the only part that is missing in order for us to fully set up Redux. So we have set up the actions, we have set up the reducers, and the only part is the store, which is we want to finish it. In order for us to set up the store, we don't need to create any files or any folders. We are gonna set up our store inside our index.js. All right, our index.js. Here we are gonna set up our store. In order for us to do so, we are gonna use the react-redux library that we have installed previously. So here on the top, I want you to import a few things. Let me open the slide. Here we have the setup store. First of all, in your root index.js, which is the main index.js file that was generated by create react app, we want to import create store from Redux. All right, we are going to import the create store function from Redux. So here on the top, I'm just going to say import create store, which was a named export. You have to be aware of the name, all right? So just make sure that you are spelling it correctly from Redux, all right? And we have also to import the provider. The provider, essentially, it's gonna take the store from Redux and make it available or accessible for the React component. Once again, the create store, it's gonna create the store for us. The provider going to take the store from Redux and pass it all the way to all the React components that we will have in our application. So let's go ahead and import that. I'm just gonna say import, and also it's a named export, a provider. So a provider, I need to spell it correctly, from react-redux, not Redux, but react-redux. And now what we want to do, we want to wrap our app component with the provider component, because the provider will take the store from Redux and make it available on all the React components. So that's why we want to wrap our app component with that. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So here I'm gonna say provider. All right, and here I'm just gonna cut these 3 lines and paste them inside our provider. Now the question is that how does the provider will take the store from Redux and place it here, or make it accessible to any React component? That's a very good question. Well, this provider can accept an attribute called the store. All right, it's by default will take the store, or not by default, we have to pass it. All right. So here it is an attribute called the store, and we want to give it our Redux store. How we are going to create our store? Well, we are going to use the create store from Redux. So here on the top, I'm just going to say constant store equal to the create store function. For the time being, let's leave it empty, but later on we are gonna fill it with some code. All right, so here we are creating a store using the create store function that comes from Redux, and we are storing it in a variable called store. And now we have just to pass this variable to our store attribute like this. So this is very straightforward and very simple. Now we have done setting up our actions, reducers, as well as our store, but everything now is empty. We do not have anything. That's what we are gonna fill in the next video. In the next video, we are gonna talk about creating a real store that has a state and information and all kind of stuff. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you, my friends, so much for watching. See you in the next one.